Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles. The Baltimore Ravens handle the Buffalo Bills 35-10 in an absolute butt-kicking that has Baltimore dancing. I am sure they are happy. They go to 2-2. The Bills fall to 3-1. Just funny how perception of the moment always matters. One team left this stadium with more wins than the other, and it is the Bills. The Bills have more wins than the Ravens. However, that's not the night. That's not how the night feels. The Ravens just crushed them and held on to the lead. This was the announcement. The Ravens are back. They're going to be formidable this year. I've been doubting them, but I mean, this was just too impressive. You know, I mean, we had the question posed to us right at the start of Sunday Night Football. Ray Lewis talking to nobody in an empty void black room with a spotlight and a camera. Who's gonna challenge the champs? Who's coming? That's what he had a whole monologue there. Honestly, though, the Ravens announced themselves. They made the statement. They made the challenging statement. The same one the Bills did on Monday against the Jaguars in week 3. We're going to do it. We're going to knock off Mahomes. We're going to knock off the Chiefs. Maybe I'm getting way ahead of myself. It's week 4. But that's the whole point of podcasting. If I was truly a responsible, accurate football recorder and reporter, I would just wait till the season's over and tell you everything that happened exactly as it happened. That would be the responsible thing to do. Derrick Henry night. This was Derrick Henry night for the Ravens. I mean, the game, Bills kicked a field goal to start, and it was the first play, right? Yeah, it was 1st and 10. The first time the Ravens had the ball. It's an 87-yard run. Touchdown for Baltimore. Longest touchdown run in Baltimore Ravens history, which, you know, I hate that stat. That's because it started at the 13-yard line. Not because it was better than every run for Baltimore, right? Like, if it started at the 23-yard line, then it'd be the same play, but it wouldn't be the longest. Anyway, this is pointless. That was Derrick Henry's 98th career touchdown. We had Mike Evans score his 98th career touchdown earlier today from Baker Mayfield. Devontae Adams falling behind there. Then the Ravens get the ball after a stop, and that drive ends in another Derrick Henry touchdown. That was the first play of the second quarter. Receiving touchdown, only his 4th ever, which was surprising. Now Derrick Henry's got 99 career touchdowns. I'm thinking, dude, he's going to do it in this game. I've been talking about the 100 touchdown mark here for Henry and Evans and Adams as it comes up. He's going to do it in this game. That would be his 7th touchdown of the season. So the catch was his 6th touchdown as a Raven in 4 games. And I'm just I feel like a little bit the same way you felt probably around October 1st in 2007 when everyone starts looking around like, wait, how did we let Tom Brady get Randy Moss? That feeling is kind of here. Like, how did we let Lamar Jackson get Derrick Henry here? 202 total yards today, 199 rushing, which apparently means he's one shy of a record. There was like a number of 200-yard rushing games, so that would have been cool. Though I still say, like, he did get 202 yards. Like, it's not like the 3 receiving yards doesn't count. Like, receiving yards are legitimate, right? All of Jerry Rice's yards are receiving yards. Like, they count. But I don't know if that would have been a record then. And then they really wanted to get Derrick Henry his 100th career touchdown in prime time during this Baltimore party, this butt kicking of the Bills, and this wild sequence. Henry breaks a 38-yard run, and I think it's 28-10 at this point. We're getting close to the fourth quarter, or maybe at the very beginning of it. Breaks the 38-yard run. Bills hustle down, a lot of effort to get him down at the 1-yard line. I'm thinking, well, they're definitely going to hand it off to Henry, try to get him that 100th touchdown. Gets a couple cracks at it. I was honestly thinking he looks a little tired, looks a little gassed. There's a penalty. They're still at the 1. And they hand it off to Henry one more time, to hammer it in one more time, get the celebration. And he fumbles it into the end zone. Which, of course, because it's Baltimore's night, is recovered by fullback Patrick Ricard, who, deserved a touchdown. I'll tell you that. He's the one who made that lead block that sprung the 38-yard run. He's been sitting here springing Baltimore backs for touchdowns and runs, all over the place. So his career touchdown number 7. So congratulations, fullback Patrick Ricard. What a night for Baltimore. 2-2. They're back in it. A lot of doubters like me have been shut up, silenced. For Buffalo, there was a little light for them in this game. We were all kind of on edge because Baltimore hasn't been holding on to leads. So Buffalo comes out of the half. It's third down. They're down 21-3. And Josh Allen makes a play that only Josh Allen makes. Being chased to the sideline, and before he hits the barrier, 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, he throws it back across his body 45 yards downfield to Khalil Shakir, who's like playing center field over there. That sets up a Bills touchdown. Now it's 21-10. The Bills get a sack and a stop. They get the ball back. They have the ball back down 11 early third quarter. We're thinking, Bills they could make this a game here. Then they try this trick play, which honestly didn't look like it was going to work from the beginning. Josh Allen is lined up out wide. He gets the ball, but in way too much congestion. He tries to wind up, and maybe someone was down there. I don't know if they ever showed us like the all 22, if he had a guy down there or not, but he's stripped, sacked, fumbled, and the Ravens end up punching that touchdown in. So I think that changed everything for Baltimore. They could kind of relax a little bit there. Because they blew the lead to the Raiders in week 2. They blew the lead to the Cowboys, even in their week 3 win. They were up, and they've kind of been doing this over the last couple of years. So Ravens fans probably just as happy to hold on to a lead as much as the win. And it was really cool to watch Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson go at it. It was, for me, it was like a wonderful, just a kind of perspective moment to enjoy this history from within the time that I've been podcasting. We started the fantasy podcast in 2016. This show started in 2021. I've literally been there the entire career of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. My whole life is thinking back to Marino and Montana and Jim Kelly and John Elway and Jerry Rice and Emmitt Smith and all those guys and Barry Sanders, and those week-to-week moments, they kind of get lost, especially as a kid. So getting to, as an adult, know that this is all history being written, that these quarterbacks from the 2018 class are battling. Lamar Jackson's got his 2 MVPs. Allen's the MVP favorite right now. Sam Darnold's 4-0 with the Vikings. Baker Mayfield's 3-1 with the Buccaneers, having a day. Josh Rosen managing a Jiffy Lube, I believe. But huge night for the Ravens. Nobody be worried about the Bills. This is going to be fun AFC football going forward. Mukilteo Football Show. This show is football, everything, NFL history, legacy, ups and downs of a season. We've got shows Sunday after Sunday Night Football, Monday after Monday Night Football, and Thursday after Thursday Night Football. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, it's week 4, September 29th. October is upon us. We've all been humbled. You know, I do love the NFL season, the ups and downs of the season, as I say in my blurb, you know, introducing the show. And that line has been in there since the beginning of this show 4 years ago. You get humbled. The season is up and down and up and down, and it always seems narratively to make sense, but it doesn't. You know, when you zoom out, you know, you experience it so differently than the way it's remembered. Like Collinsworth pulling out the NFC division leaders right now are Washington, Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Minnesota. All four of them were not even projected second in their division. I mean, you could quibble whether Tampa Bay or New Orleans were projected second in the NFC South. They both had the same over-under, but Washington, Seattle, Minnesota, they were third or fourth in their division projections. We're 4 games in, and they're all in first. And in the AFC, we've already seen the Chiefs are the team to beat. The Bills are the team to beat. Now the Ravens are the team to beat. It's been 4 weeks, and we've switched 3 times. That's why I love football. The fanciest computer models and projections had no idea what would be happening. They gave you no semblance of what September 29th actually looked like back in August. And the most, like, people who played the game, people who coached the game, former players and coaches and seasoned experts, they're as wrong as you and me. That's why I love football. And guess what? We got more humbling to come. The Ravens put up a dud next week. I mean, the Bills just did it. They dominated the Jaguars. They came to face the Ravens, and they put up a dud. If it was backwards, if the Ravens had beat the Bills in week 3, thumped them, and then Monday Night Football, the Bills came into Jacksonville, or Jacksonville came into Buffalo, and Monday Night Football this week was the Bills doing that, we'd be saying they're back. It just happens to be backwards. So we experience these things linearly, even though they're really not. We always have this story to tell. And one of the best stories that's happening right now is the Vikings. They are becoming the big surprise of the season. They're 4-0. Sam Darnold is the first quarterback to go into double-digit touchdowns this year. He's now at 11. And I said it in the preview, so I can either brag or be accused of confirmation bias, but dude, this is happening because of Justin Jefferson. I know Sam Darnold's a great story, and he's definitely he is a large part of it. Addison, Naylor, what do you do with a drunken Naylor? With that punt, maybe he was drunk. But anyway, I'm really scatterbrained here. Justin Jefferson is a big reason that the Vikings offense is moving. It's really fun to watch this elite wide receiver in his prime, and Sam Darnold getting that real chance because of him and because of Kevin O'Connell in this offense. And then the Vikings defense, Brian Flores, they came out, they befuddled Green Bay. I mean, the Packers had a pretty good surge there going, a really up-tempo offense with Jordan Love. Jordan Love had the Favrean stat line, 32 for 52 for 389 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. But the Vikings, I mean, I don't know, what could they do? What could they do? How far are we going to go here? This is the first act, right? Because, we're telling a story, right? Even though that's not really how it works, that's how we experience it. This could be great. This could be one of the big things of all time. But it also could not be. I mean, they could even go 10-7 and lose a playoff game and we'll forget about it. Thinking of the 2009 Texans, Matt Schaub Texans, or the Bears, that Vic Fangio year, the Mitch Trubisky, Vic Fangio year, even the Daniel Jones Giants year, 2 years ago. We forgot about them. But if this 4-0 start is act 1 of an even more grand story, the NFC is wide open. They have the good defense. They have the superstar who's the best player in the game, Justin Jefferson. Each game that he plays, he's one of the best players, if not the best player in the game. He's on the Vikings team. I don't know. I'm getting excited. I'm getting real excited about the Minnesota Vikings. The other big story of the last 6 days is the Commanders. Jayden Daniels. And I think we all got to be wondering here as they blew out the Arizona Cardinals 42-14. It's sort of a, what is that called when you have to prove it? Like in horse, you have to make the final shot, but then you also have to prove it. You have to make it again. This was that moment. You can't just do one game against the Bengals. Now they do one against the Cardinals. Jayden Daniels again looks seasoned out there. I said he was going to look seasoned because he had like an extra year of college football that no one else gets. But I don't know. It's even better than I thought. I don't know. I was wrong on Jayden Daniels. I heard a lot of smart people say he doesn't see the field and he's a run-first guy. A one-read, pull it down and run guy. Dude, that is not he is not doing that at all in his fourth game. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't believe people that much. This doesn't look like LSU Jayden Daniels to me, though. I don't know. And it's the Bengals and the Cardinals defenses that are struggling elsewhere too. We shouldn't just say that Jayden Daniels on a permanent upward trajectory here. We shouldn't start talking about whether his season is better than CJ Stroud's or anything. And I know I got way hyped about the Vikings. I'm not as hyped about the Commanders or Jayden Daniels, but this is fun. This is Act 1. Something could be here. I don't think we've ever felt this for Washington in this century. Even the 2012 RG3 season, which was very fun in the moment. The experience of that season, of RG3's rookie season, was very fun. But it's got to be a little sour for Washington fans at this point. Partly because RG3 hated the offense, which, by the way, was run by Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, and Mike McDaniel. Idiot. And he did nothing else from there. They kept none of those coaches who went on to be the faces of NFL offensive success for the next decade. So even the Washington's one good season is like sour in memory. This new ownership, new quarterback, new coach, Dan Quinn looking happy over there. Jayden Daniels like, ooh, I don't know. I think this is another great storyline going forward into the season. Act 1 has set us up for something good. The Bengals, they won. They beat the Panthers. And I just have to say, there was a moment where it must have been just the darkest, like the old familiar sting for Cincinnati Bengal fans as Andy Dalton, their forgotten redheaded son, drove the Panthers on the opening drive to the 1-yard line. And you're thinking like, dude, is Dalton going to have another day? Is he going to drop the Bengals to 0-4? Then, boom, turnover on downs at the 1, a couple of big Jamar Chase plays, bleach blonde Joe Burrow making it happen where it needs to happen, and suddenly the Bengals are 1-3. And now we're talking about, speaking of Act 1, everything's Act 1, can they dig out of the hole? Can the Bengals dig out of this hole? And it always like, everything, I know I just kind of talking about the same thing over and over in this episode, but if the Bengals had played the Panthers in week 2 and the Chiefs in week 4, and the results and the entire games are all the exact same, and they were 1-3 after losing to the Chiefs in week 4, it just wouldn't be the same. We wouldn't be like, oh, like NBC literally says, well, they were a pretender, now they're a contender. Like, but they were always this team. Like, these results happened in this order, but it didn't necessarily mean we had to read it that way, in Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. But we do. That's the fun of football. That's just the fun of football. We'll be back Monday. Seahawks are on tomorrow. Hoping to have a good podcast and check in for just under a quarter of the season.